NBA YoungBoy's massive tour just took a wild left turn in New Orleans. After wrapping up his concert, the rapper was spotted moving through the streets with hundreds of fans crowding around, chanting his name like a hero's return. But things went sideways fast once a clip surfaced showing him pleading with his rivals not to end his life. So what really went down? Let's break this down. When a celebration turns into straight-up chaos. It's the early morning hours of October 20th, 2025, and downtown New Orleans is about to explode into pure mayhem. The moment perfectly reflects the unpredictable bond between one of hip-hop's biggest names and his die-hard followers. What began as a glorious homecoming for NBA YoungBoy was about to flip into a full-on frenzy. One that would spark viral clips, wild headlines, and some serious questions about where fan love turns dangerous. The night had started flawlessly. Hours earlier, the Smoothie King Center had been shaking as YoungBoy hit the stage for his first Louisiana show in 7 long years. This wasn't just another stop on the Massa Tour, short for Make America Slime Again. This was a straight-up cultural moment. The arena glowed in green lights, his trademark color, as he dropped hit after hit, with fans shouting every lyric word for word. Tickets had sold out instantly, given his massive appeal and how rare it is to see him perform in his home state. The concert closed out just after midnight, and for a brief moment, everything looked smooth. But then YoungBoy made a move that would soon spiral out of control. Sometime between 1 and 2 a.m. on Monday, October 20th, which just so happened to be his 26th birthday, he decided to take a chill walk through the heart of New Orleans. He was only rolling with a small crew of about 8 people, no hired guards, no private security, no barriers. Just YoungBoy and his day ones hitting the city that raised him. He started his walk near the intersection of Canal and Bourbon Streets, known for their wild nightlife and packed crowds in the French Quarter. Clips show YoungBoy low-key in a black jacket and shades, confidently walking down Canal. At first, the vibe was relaxed, a few fans asking for pictures, some shouting his name. But once word got out, boosted by social media posts and the lingering buzz from his concert, the scene exploded. What started as a handful of excited supporters quickly grew into a massive wave of fans closing in, spilling into Bourbon Street itself. In no time, the crowd turned into a stampede of people screaming, pushing, and fighting to get near him. The situation got out of hand fast. Movement became nearly impossible for YoungBoy and his crew. That's when the New Orleans Police Department, who already had officers strategically stationed in the area as part of the concert security plan, jumped into action to control the growing chaos. Multiple videos, including surveillance from Project NOLA and clips from bystanders, show police forming a human shield around YoungBoy as fans pressed in from all sides. Between 4 and 6 officers can be seen holding onto him by his arms and shoulders, carefully maneuvering him backward through the mob toward a nearby vehicle. In one viral clip, YoungBoy seems hesitant to leave, visibly frustrated as he insists he wants to keep walking while officers push for a safe exit. The entire ordeal lasted only a few minutes, with police managing to get him through the chaos without violence. No weapons drawn, no harsh tactics used. He was safely guided to the waiting car, ending the brief but intense frenzy. Later, the NOPD issued a statement confirming that no crimes occurred, no arrests were made, and the incident was purely a matter of crowd control to protect public safety. Still, this wild night wasn't an isolated case. It became yet another entry in a growing list of chaotic moments that seemed to follow NBA YoungBoy's tour city after city. The Massa Tour, which kicked off on September 1st, 2025, at the American Airlines Center in Dallas and was slated to wrap up on November 12th in Seattle, had been dogged by chaos from almost the very beginning. Security breakdowns, last-minute cancellations, fan fights, and credible threats had become recurring headlines at nearly every stop. The trouble first hit on September 10th, during the second show at the Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, when a full-blown brawl broke out among fans right as YoungBoy launched into Lonely Child. Cell phone clips captured the mayhem, pushing, yelling, and fists flying in the packed 20,000-seat arena. The concert had to pause briefly while security swarmed the stands to de-escalate the situation. Thankfully, no arrests were made, and the performance resumed, but the tension in the air was thick. Then came Kansas City, where things took an even darker and more disturbing turn. On September 21st, at the T-Mobile Center, a 14-year-old fan reportedly attacked a 66-year-old usher, punching and kicking him in a viral clip that quickly spread across social media. The shocking footage showed the teen being restrained by guards as the older staff member lay injured. Later, the usher told reporters about the terrifying ordeal, how he was thrown to the ground, stomped repeatedly, and left fearing he wouldn't make it out alive.
Getting him off me. Because he was so enraged, so we were in essence trying to protect the fans.
The venue's vice president of sales and marketing later released a statement confirming that several crew members had been hurt and received medical attention on site before being taken to a hospital. This wasn't just some rowdy outburst, it was outright violence that led to immediate arrests and calls for tougher age rules at upcoming dates. The biggest blow came on September 24, 2025, when Chicago's United Center abruptly canceled its scheduled show just one day before it was set to happen, saying they couldn't ensure attendees' safety after receiving intel tied to YoungBoy's ongoing feud with Chicago rapper Lil Durk. Fans who had already shown up were turned away at the doors, triggering outrage from YoungBoy's team. His manager blasted the venue on social media, accusing them of backing out at the last second, while Ticketmaster began issuing refunds. The venue had previously declared a zero-bag rule for the concert, not even the standard clear bags that most shows allow. But even that intense precaution didn't cut it. Within a few days, the United Center made the call to scrap the event entirely rather than take the risk.
That was the topic.
Well, you said stop it to shout him out.
Go ahead, I'm talking shit, man.
So yeah, he was supposed to have a show, Chicago United Center. YoungBoy was involved with the beef, whatever, with Durk, which led to Von's passing. It's his first time in Chicago since. Of course, they've been all on the internet saying whatever. So the first thing happened, the Chicago Center puts out an update and says, listen, we're doing a zero bag policy at this show. Normally at shows, they have a clear bag policy. The little book bags, the little handbag, as long as it's clear, they can see through it, you can bring that bag in. It was like, for this particular show, no bags allowed whatsoever. We're not playing. And then like a couple days went by and the Chicago Center just said, yo, we canceling the show. Okay. We're not even doing it. So they deaded the show.
NBA YoungBoy has been arrested in Utah where he has been serving strict house arrest during legal proceedings. According to jail records from the Cache County Sheriff's Office, the 24-year-old was booked on several charges Tuesday morning.
At first, prosecutors listed an incredible 63 felony counts, including forgery, identity theft, and violations of pharmaceutical law. By November 2024, YoungBoy entered a plea deal on 10 of those charges, which were merged with his ongoing federal weapons sentence. The admitted offenses included forgery, fraud, running an unlawful enterprise, illegally obtaining prescription drugs, and firearm possession by a restricted person. The sheer range and intensity of the accusations left both the industry and the public wondering what he'd really been doing while supposedly under constant supervision. Many pointed out that during nearly 2 years of house arrest, in the compound he called Gravedigger Mountain, he had openly shared clips online showing himself using drugs, raising questions about how much control authorities actually had over him.
Forgery.
Damn.
Yeah,
Identity fraud.
They're really
right?
on his
What the f are you up there doing?
An attorney,
Probably using. Sorry.
An attorney representing YoungBoy issued a statement saying, in part, everyone is presumed innocent and he has falsely been accused in the past.
Look, Rose. So look.
Man, you've been posting drugs on house arrest for about 2 years, so.
Yeah.
We all been seeing laying on the floor.
The identity fraud is crazy.
The long-running weapons saga reached its conclusion in December 2024, when a Utah federal court sentenced him to 23 months for the 2020 firearms offenses. The judge credited his prior jail time and ordered mandatory substance abuse and psychological evaluations. Additional local charges in Weber County, including illegal weapon possession and drug paraphernalia, were consolidated into the same case, which at one point ballooned to more than 60 counts before plea reductions. But this chapter took a surprising twist. In March 2025, he was granted early release to a halfway facility due to overcrowding and good conduct. Just 2 months later, in May, former President Donald Trump issued a pardon as part of a sweeping clemency rollout, erasing the Utah gun conviction. Supporters praised the move as a step toward fairness for a black artist they felt had been unfairly targeted, while critics argued it was reckless favoritism toward a figure tied to organized violence. By July 2025, an amended plea secured his full freedom on July 27th, just in time to kick off his national tour. Yet his probation conditions remained strict, enforcing travel limits and banning contact with former co-defendants. What stood out most from the Chicago cancellation was that, despite the plug being pulled, YoungBoy's camp still collected full payment for the scrap show. Industry insiders said the United Center backed out just 2 days before his team had fully set up. Trucks were unloaded, crews were ready, and tickets had sold out, proof of how serious the financial stakes were and how much the venue risked to prioritize safety. His team insisted they weren't coming to stir conflict, only to perform.
They got paid for it. Like, I talked to his
They
man.
got paid for that show and didn't perform?
Of course.
Wow.
Because they didn't cancel it.
Right.
So,
Right, it's not their fault.
they kind of broke it down to me. They said, listen, 2 days before, our trucks are there. We're ready to go. We got fans there. We're not like, what, we think we coming here to war? No, we coming here to perform. We got fans. We love our fans. We're not going, it's not a war zone. So they wanted to have a good show. The United Center called them. Hey, listen, we're going to have to cancel this.
Through every storm, YoungBoy's answer has been relentless creativity. Even under house arrest, he dropped over 100 songs, many of them confessional tracks where he wrestles with guilt, trauma, and the impact of violence on his loved ones. His legal turmoil hasn't just colored his life story, It's become the lifeblood of his art. The chaos, the survival, the pain, all reimagined into lyrics that connect with millions who see themselves in his struggle. In that sense, NBA YoungBoy isn't just another rapper with a criminal record. He's a cultural case study in resilience. His story illustrates how hardship can be alchemized into influence. There's something deeply paradoxical about his rise. A performer who spent more time battling court cases than performing in arenas, who's recorded albums from house arrest instead of studios, and who's filmed visuals in his living room instead of glossy sets. Yet this 26-year-old from Baton Rouge has achieved the impossible, amassing more than 15 billion YouTube views and billions more on Spotify, placing him among the most streamed hip-hop artists of all time. The secret to his rise doesn't lie in label strategy or polished marketing. It's rooted in the unfiltered honesty that defines his music. His sound captures the gritty evolution of Southern rap, born from Baton Rouge street simmering with tension and survival instinct. Growing up in a cramped Section 8 apartment, he first learned to record at age 11 by watching YouTube tutorials, using a $200 microphone plugged into his grandmother's aging desktop. That raw, homemade energy became his signature. His sound blends trap percussion, booming 808s, auto-tuned melodies reminiscent of early 2010s New Orleans bounce, and volatile flows that swing from whispered pain to explosive rage. Production-wise, he favors skeletal beats layered with haunting pianos and shadowy synths that reflect the isolation in his lyrics. These aren't club tracks, they're emotional confessions disguised as anthems. From those humble beginnings, YoungBoy's grind evolved into one of rap's most expansive catalogs, spanning more than 26 albums, mixtapes, and EPs since his breakout in 2015. Those early tapes, uploaded to SoundCloud and That Piff, built a fierce local following in Baton Rouge, blending street storytelling with regional sound. By the time AI YoungBoy dropped in 2017 as his Atlantic Records debut, he had perfected the balance, rapid-fire trap flows paired with melodic hooks that soon cracked the Billboard charts. Yet what separates him isn't just the output or technical skill, it's the duality in his themes. His music glorifies the hustle while exposing the emotional wreckage it leaves behind. Each verse captures the constant collision between ambition and danger, rhyming about stolen cars, weapons, and dreams of wealth alongside confessions of fear and loneliness. His songs swing from triumph to paranoia, showing the cost of fame in a world where enemies and arrests are never far away. His impact on the next generation is undeniable. For many young listeners, NBA YoungBoy isn't simply a musician, he's a symbol of survival, authenticity, and defiance. His supporters don't just stream his songs, they live by them. To them, he's not a celebrity, he's a prophet of pain, a voice echoing their own fight to endure.
It ain't just the shows. That's what me and you had this argument a long time ago. No, not me. Zaire was up here too. But yo, they love like the way
Zaire,
the generation after us looked at Wayne.
Zaire compared him to Tupac, and
is how they look at YoungBoy though.
I get
like, he's that nigga. Like they will die for this nigga for real.
The influence of his fan base is nothing short of explosive. With over 10 million subscribers on YouTube, mostly young listeners between 13 and 24 from the South and Midwest, fans dissect his verses in comment threads with near-religious devotion. Many proudly ink 4KT, the crew's signature tag, on their skin as a symbol of allegiance, while his signature green slime aesthetic has evolved into a $50 million merchandising juggernaut, everything from hoodies to energy drinks. His concerts have become living fashion statements, arenas filled with fans mirroring his energy and style. Throughout the Massa tour, this loyalty plays out through ritual-like crowd moments, with deafening arrow-wide slime, chants erupting during Make No Sense, transforming pain into cathartic unity. During his New Orleans stop on October 19th, the chaos paused when thousands softly harmonized Lonely Child, turning the room into an emotional sanctuary that fans later described as transcendent. These aren't mere performances, they're spiritual releases for a generation that sees its own battles with hardship, betrayal, and survival reflected in YoungBoy's words. The makeup of his audience explains why his shows vibrate with such charged, unpredictable energy. His magnetic pull among Gen Z and young millennials, many still under 18, injects a potent blend of raw passion and restlessness into every venue. Their devotion fills arenas across the Massa tour, where fans line up hours early, transforming parking lots into mini festivals awash in green and black merch. Their collective identity revolves around the never broke again philosophy that YoungBoy has preached since his 2017 mixtape run, a creed rooted in family, loyalty, perseverance, and defiance against generational struggle. But that same passion often tips toward chaos. One concert-goer leaving the Los Angeles show called a friend immediately afterward, raving that they had to experience it in person. But when that friend saw videos of the crowd, the crush of bodies, the unrestrained movement, the smoke and flashing lights, their reaction flipped. They described it as looking like hell on earth, a visual testament to the overwhelming energy that defines a YoungBoy show.
I got a phone call after his LA show. Nigga, this is how the conversation started, swear to God. Nigga, you gotta go to YoungBoy show. And I'm like, I planned on going, but then I saw the video of the crowd. And I said, that looks like literal hell.
Still, beneath the turbulence lies something surprisingly redemptive. Moments that show the humanity fueling this movement. Throughout the Massa tour, YoungBoy has repeatedly stopped mid-performance to calm violent outbreaks, like in Los Angeles, where he cut the lights and addressed the arena directly. "We family, keep that energy in the music, not each other." The crowd erupted in cheers, turning aggression into unity. In Houston, he invited a young mother on stage for her birthday, pulling $5,000 in cash from his pocket to gift her, a gesture echoing his never broke again mantra of giving back. Even skeptics have been forced to acknowledge the scale of his stagecraft. Far from a minimalist setup, the Massa tour has delivered full-blown spectacle. Pyrotechnics, massive LED screens, intricate choreography, the works. Critics who expected him to simply pace the stage were proven wrong. His set list runs deep, spanning his full catalog, ensuring no fan leaves feeling shortchanged.
So I told him, I'm like, nah. He was like, yo, I'll get y'all riser tickets. Riser, you not in the crowd, you're not in the midst of that shit. I'll get y'all on the riser if you want to with it. I'm like, all right, bet. He was like, yo, this show, the energy, he was like, yo, he's putting on a real production. Because my mans was like, yo, I ain't gonna lie. When I went, the first thing I said was, oh, he gonna be up here stealing money. Basically, walking back and forth, no screens. He was like, no, it's a full-on, he's put on a show. Like effects, all the shit you want to see at a concert, he's doing.
Each performance unfolds like a cinematic experience, complete with coffin-shaped stage entrances, collapsing set pieces, and dancers dressed in fatigues, transforming arenas into immersive war zones turned victory parades. One reviewer described the Massa tour as a carnival of chaos turned redemption, noting how its 40-song runtime keeps audiences on their feet from start to finish. Even when shows get cancelled, fans refuse to lose momentum. After the second Atlanta date fell through, thousands gathered outside Mercedes-Benz Stadium, blasting Make No Sense from Bluetooth speakers and launching fireworks, turning disappointment into celebration. In New Orleans, parking lots turned into block parties, with families barbecuing and sharing stories of how songs like Sincerely, Cantrell helped them survive hard times. That defiant joy mirrors his brand symbolism. Chains representing not vanity, but endurance, dances expressing both pain and pride. By October 21st, 2025, over 30 shows in, the Massa tour had earned millions and cemented a fandom that feels more like a cultural uprising than a consumer base. Passionate, messy, and fiercely loyal. YoungBoy's reach clearly stretches far beyond music. It's a mirror for struggle, a release for anger, and proof that even out of darkness, fame and forgiveness can coexist.